Was the dude from 30 Rock on a bigoted dog walk? Well, during an otherwise delightful stroll with his pooch on Sunday, Alec Baldwin allegedly grabbed a New York Post reporter and yelled racial epithets at her black photographer. Former Red Eye guest Tara Palmieri was asking the 54-year-old actor a question about his wife facing a lawsuit when she says he responded by yanking her arm and saying, "I want to choke you to death." And when Post photog G.N. Miller informed Batty Baldwin that he was a retired cop, Alec dismissed his ID as fake and allegedly called him a nasty word that begins with C and rhymes with moon, as well as another phrase that rhymes with drug dealer. Miller says, quote, "He was saying some serious racist stuff, stereotypes associated with black people." Let's go live to Alec's dog, Adolf Baldwin, for a comment. How you holding up, AB? Well, maybe he'll talk to us later. He seems kind of traumatized by the whole thing. All right, first of all, I need to say the New York Post is owned by Fox News' parent company, News Corp. Jim, I also need to point out that Baldwin denies that any of this happened.
Yes.
Although he did continue to refer to the photographer as a crackhead on Twitter before he deleted the tweets.
Yeah, I love this one. More fake outrage. Oh no, he said, the man said bad word. What a bunch of dummies Americans are, just obsessing over whether or not Alec Baldwin. First of all, this guy, I think this guy who was a cop was in narcotics. So 15 years in NYPD narcotics and you're shocked someone used a stereotype? Shut your face. The press reaction becomes the headline story. Them complaining about how somebody reacts is like Sandusky complaining that a kid spilled ice cream on his rug. I'm tired of it. They make the story, they propel it on purpose.
Did you miss the part where I said the New York Post is owned by Fox News parent company News Corp?
You know what? The Post has actually been good to me, but they fall into the subcategory of media. And I'm not talking about Walter Cronkite in 1967. Right. That's not what we have in journalism anymore. Yeah. Just a bunch of tabloid reporters running around trying to get the next big story. It's gross.
All right. Imogen, you were saying in the green room, as far as you're concerned, Baldwin wasn't racist enough. Please explain yourself.
I love you so much, Andy. Oh my word. Well, first of all, I think Baldwin did warn all the paparazzi last year and all the press that he wanted to waterboard them. So quite frankly, I mean, they should have known. Let's not go up and have a go at him. Especially over, to be fair to he and his wife, Baldwin and his wife is being sued at the moment. She was doing a yoga class, and apparently one of the people in the yoga class was a bit uncomfortable. They were at a downtown yoga class in New York City. It is uncomfortable. So there's a stupid lawsuit going on, and then this reporter was asking them about this stupid lawsuit, so no wonder he did what he did, probably.
Well, Alec kept calling the photographer Ralston, even though his name, he goes by GN, his initials. Last June, he referred to another black photographer as Rodney, even though that wasn't his name. Does he think every black person's name begins with R for some reason?
Well, I'll tell you, racism, veiled or otherwise, is always deplorable, but what else can we expect from this point from the Irish? That's why we won't hire him. Yeah, can't emphasize that enough.
Bill, speaking of that lawsuit against Baldwin's yoga instructor wife, how is that going?
It's going good. I'm not limping less. I know they like dogs, but the downward kind is not my cup of tea. I was a beginner, you much younger wife of Alec Baldwin. I'm going to say something controversial, Andrew. I'm against racism. I'm not a fan of it, but we're sort of burying the lead here. The thing that outrages me is that he offended a cute girl. And if it's one in this noble profession and going to something like TV that would exploit her cuteness. I like this.
As always, no cogency from you whatsoever.
I don't think you know what that means.
I don't. Last point, Imogen, New York State Senator Malcolm Smith, he says if these allegations against Baldwin are true, no television network or film studio should hire him until he gets help for anger management. Agree? I know, I should have asked you about this, Jim. I was pretty sure how you would respond.
It's Alec Baldwin. Do we really care? This is his thing. That's what he does.
Yeah.
So Newsday.
Well, hang on, Jim. Do you agree with the state senator?
I certainly do.
Yeah.
Why would he be angry at these people? That's stomach turning. Why does nobody ever tell the press to take anger management or behavioral altering courses for the way they behave? I mean, they're just invasive pigs under the guise of getting a story. Hey, look, the journalists that go overseas and they're being shot at in Syria, that's a different breed of journalists that I'm talking about. Those are real journalists who are doing a real public service.
Yeah.
But these little tabloid nits that are just running around being in everybody's hair going, what about the lawsuit? What about the lawsuit? What about the lawsuit? And then you reacted like, oh my God, did you hear what he said? I taped it. I got a picture of it. It's revolting. And how come they're never being asked to explain their behavior?
Okay, but isn't there still like a line where your response should be that it could be somewhat short of "I want to choke you to death"?
No, that's great. He was honest. Again, we always say, "Why are politicians liars?"
Right.
That's what happens when you're honest. He didn't. If he choked her, he's wrong. But if he says, "I want to choke you to death," that's probably how I'd feel. Good for him. Get it off your chest.
Do you have a comment on the show? Email us at redeye@foxnews.com. And do you have a video of your animal doing something? Go to foxnews.com/redeye and click on Submit a Video. We might use it. So to come, the halftime report from Jedediah Bila.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by Laughter, that show of joyous emotion in the form of a vocal sound. Thanks, Laughter. Transportation for Red Eye provided by Rickshaw's Rickshaw. When you need to be somewhere on time every time, find someone else. For everything else, there's Rickshaw's Rickshaw.
Sensa is as easy as shake, eat, and lose.